from the Pakistani perspective, what is it that stands out with respect to suicide?
Well, there are many commonalities across the globe of the 800,000, 8 lakh to 1 million suicide that happen globally. So there are many commonalities between what happens in Pakistan and in the other places. Two or three things that really stand out for Pakistan. One is the social factors. They feature very prominently in our suicides. Now, suicide is a pathway, so there is no direct jump from someone who is poor and someone going and killing themselves. But as distal factors or upstream factors, social factors really are very, very prominent in Pakistan, suicides in Pakistan. So that's one thing. The final common pathway, of course, is always in most suicides a mental health issue. But the upstream factors, what are called the distal factors, certainly are different in different settings. And in Pakistan, social factors, unemployment, poverty, violence, these really feature very heavily. The second thing that really stands out is the gender difference between Pakistan and other places, particularly the West. In Pakistan, the proportion of young married females attempting suicide and dying by suicide is proportionately much higher than you see in the West, where marriage is protective in the West generally. So that's the second thing. The third thing that I think is very prominent is, like everywhere else, the most common method is hanging in Pakistan also. But the second and third method are the use of poisons or use of substances, of which two-thirds use substances that can contain organophosphates. So that's the other important point, and this is the same as in many other South Asian countries like Sri Lanka, India, China, South Korea, and so on. And the third most important factor is use of firearms, which in the recent years, the recent couple of decades or so in Pakistan, because of the proliferation and the easy accessibility of firearms in Pakistan, that has now become the number three. So these are two or three very important factors that really stand out from studying suicide in Pakistan as compared to the rest of the world, particularly the West, because I say the West because most studies have been conducted in the West, so that is where we compare our own studies with. But if you look at the region, we have much more commonalities within the region.